I mean, it could have won it last year, but he had the most interceptions in the league. But and I think Lamar was on the best team. So I think a lot of times that goes into it as well. What you mean to your team, you're winning the most games, like in comparison to what Lamar had this year. Josh had more wins, and some of the best moments were a couple of those moments were his wins. So again, all I'm going to say is I'm not mad at it. And hats off to Josh Allen for winning. I just didn't like the criteria in regards to the first team All Pro and MVP.
I know the playoffs don't count.
I got to run.
The
Can I get
Bills beat the Ravens in the playoffs.
real quick because I got to run. Real quick because I got to run. My biggest problem is the same 50 guys voted on both things. How do you vote? How do you not? That's only the third time it's ever happened that a guy won the MVP and wasn't voted the All-Pro at his position. The same 50 guys voted for both things. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't get it. You can name the other guy. I don't have a problem with Lamar Jackson being MVP either. I just don't know how you could be one and not the other. That's all. I don't get it.
Okay.
Let me ask
Anyway.
James. Can I ask James?
I do have to run.
Can I ask
Enjoy.
James a question? Your phone rings. You're a Saint fan for life. You need a quarterback, obviously. I assume you're not that thrilled with Derek Carr, okay? We'll go along with that. Your phone rings, James. You have a choice. Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. You could have one of them, your Saint quarterback going forward now. Who do you pick?
I'm picking, if I'm basing it off this season, I'm picking Lamar Jackson.
Going forward. Don't give me one of these off this season.
I'm picking Lamar Jackson.
Okay. I don't think so, but not for me. Not for me with the Jets. Okay, I would go.
Sure.
And I love Lamar Jackson. I think he's great. Don't misunderstand me. I've always defended him. Always have been a big fan of Lamar Jackson, but Josh Allen has kind of a bit of the it factor. They haven't been able to get over the top against the Chiefs. Not his fault. He's played well in the games, but it's more a little bit of a team thing. But okay.
I mean, who has more turnovers? I don't want to. I mean, I'm not saying Josh Allen's not great, but he just got over that hump a little bit this season. Again, it led this league in interceptions and turnovers last year. So I'm not saying that he's not good or not great. He's a great player, and he means a lot to his team. But you're asking me if I had to pick somebody, I want somebody that's going to protect the ball. Now, has either one of them won it in the biggest of moments? No. Neither did Charles Barkley or kept or Patch. Not Moses Malone, but Malone and Patrick Ewing. None of those guys won on Jordan's watch.
Let me get Sonia. Let me get
dominant in this era.
Let me get Sonia in here because she's been relatively quiet. Who has the better team? The Bills or the Ravens?
Yeah, I'm going to have to say the Ravens had a better team this season, especially with adding Derrick Henry to the mix. It was unfortunate that Zay Flowers went down injured, but just say he wasn't injured. You got Zay Flowers, you got Likely, you got Henry. All those guys were taking that run game, the pressure of the run game being solely off Lamar, because everybody knows Lamar is a running quarterback. By them having him, they were able to alleviate a lot of that run game. The Bills, like J-Train said last year, we weren't sold on them. There was a lot of interceptions, especially during crucial games. Josh Allen sometimes plays like a one-man show, honestly. And so for that reason, I'm going to say this particular season, the Ravens were the better team. I'm surprised that the Ravens did not beat the Bills. And that's my opinion. And I'm wearing purple for the Ravens today and for my birthstone. So
I got to chime in on that.
Well, let me go ahead, Jameson.
Look, Peyton Manning was on the best team and won MVP. Aaron Rodgers was on the best team and won MVP. There have been several quarterbacks that have been on the best team and won MVP. So what is the criteria here? I mean, I get what you're saying in regards to not having a lot, you're doing them both, but to me, the numbers have to make sense. If Lamar Jackson has the numbers and he's on the best team, Why are we
Wait,
knocking
wait,
him
wait,
if
wait,
I
you
was
don't knock the other
surprised. I
players?
Let
was
me say
surprised
something.
that
The
Lamar didn't
Ravens
make it,
lost
honestly.
5 games and the Bills lost 3 games. How are the Ravens on the better team? The Bills had a better record by a couple of games and then beat the Ravens in the playoffs.
That's the
So the
key.
Ravens were
Was
not
To
a
close
me,
better
that's the key.
team. The Ravens had the better personnel outside of the quarterbacks
But
than the
he didn't
Bills.
have the better numbers, though. He didn't have the better
Right.
numbers.
The stats don't match up with the wins and losses.
I'm sorry, say it again.
The stats, you're right. Statistically, the Ravens had better stats than the Bills did across the board. The wins and losses don't mirror what the stats were for the individual performance of those players.
What isn't a most valuable player a guy that makes the team?
Yeah, I thought Lamar
lot
would have.
I
better.
agree with
thought
you, but
Lamar would
it's
have
not.
gotten it.
It's not what it's been. That's not what it's been. That's what I'm saying. That's never what it's been. That's never what it's been. I mean, you don't see that. You see the
Well,
guy
that's what it-
who's on his best, has the best either offense. You typically it's an offensive award, so let's just call it what it is. I mean, outside of LT, it's an offensive award, and typically it's a quarterback award. I mean, so it's the best quarterback that plays the game, and hands down, that guy was the best quarterback in Lamar Jackson. That you can't argue that.
Exactly. Lamar should have gotten that award. I was shocked that Lamar didn't get it.
Kippy says maybe there should have been co-MVPs. I don't know.
There
Possibly.
shouldn't have been
I
co-MVPs.
guess
Josh Allen was the MVP. And yet this is from a big Lamar Jackson fan who's been singing his virtues on this show for a long time. The Ravens have better personnel on their team than the Bills have. Josh Allen basically carried that team on his back for the year.
I told you he was a one person show. He really
And that
did.
makes him the thank you. You backed up my argument.
Yeah.
If they
I
There's a
did
lot
that.
of players that one man show for their teams. Doesn't mean they deserve the MVP of the league. I just think that.
Well, now you bring up another good point. To me, the MVP this year should be Saquon Barkley. Without him, the Eagles aren't even in the playoffs. They don't even make the playoffs this year.
That's who it should be.
Hey, they would have been in
the
they would have been in the playoffs.
They're
without
so bent
Saquon
on
Barkley.
giving
Don't
the
be
MVP.
carried away.
They're so bent on giving the MVP to a quarterback. That's how Saquon didn't get it. I could not believe they didn't even consider him for MVP because he surely earned it.
All right.
You said
we go next to the coach of the year.
Jackson was undoubtedly the MVP, and now you're saying
Saquon
Barkley was given a raw deal. Make up your mind, Sonia. Come on.
We're talking about the quarterbacks it came down to, which was Lamar and Josh Allen. But if we're not just talking about those two, Saquon should have been a legit contender. I've been saying that all season. Please run the clips, Mac. They're there.
Yeah, not just Steve McNair and Peyton, also Barry Sanders and I think Brett Favre or Barry Sanders and Peyton. One of the two. I think it was They were co-MVPs as well.
And that's
all right. So you said
co-MVPs. That's a complete cop-out.
And hi, Kilpy, because I don't know who Kilpy is, but they subscribe to my YouTube. So thanks for joining us.
All right, cool. So there you go. So the coach of the year is Kevin McConnell. Took a Minnesota team that and brought them to 14-3, I think was the final record. And I know we don't count the playoffs because if we did, they probably wouldn't have got it, in my opinion, anyway. So here's something for you, James. You've got two coaches that are probably were the best in the league this year in both conferences. You have Andy Reid and probably Nick Sirianni, NFC. Here's two winning coaches. They don't get coach of the year.
So wait, I'm sorry. Are you asking me, does this coach deserve the coach of the year versus those other guys? Why didn't they get it? Because they're in the Super Bowl?
I'm saying you're saying that the MVP should go to the best player. Basically, you were saying Lamar Jackson should have got the MVP. So here you got two of the best coaches in the league, and they don't get the MVP. I mean, the coach.
Look, that's a fair argument, but all of these awards are for regular season. I mean, it's not what you've done. Because who knows if these teams would have made the Super Bowl at that point? You're looking at what a coach has done I mean, again, a coach is somebody that does X's and O's. They're not the players on the field. So you have to look at what they were able to do, what they had. So I think that Kevin O'Connell showed that, like, wow, I mean, incredible. I think he's fair that he won it. I wouldn't be mad if Andy Reid winning the award. I mean, so somebody like Andy Reid is probably like a voters fatigue, for a guy like that to win the award because he's always at where he's at.
Well, he hasn't got Coach of the Year for a while. I'm saying Andy Reid had a better record than Kevin O'Connell at the end of the year, and Sirianni had the same. 14-3, right?
And they're in the playoffs. Yeah, I don't know how they voted.
So that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying.
Listen, guys, everyone, it's about expectations. Next season, for example, the Baltimore Ravens expected to contend. If they go 15-2, John Harbaugh is less likely to get Coach of the Year than if the Jets go 10-7 and make the playoffs. Aaron Glenn would be more likely to get it because based on expectations. Yeah, and Kevin O'Connell, they exceeded expectations, the Vikings, going 14-3.
That's a good point. I'll go with that. So we're going to stop here. We got some commercials. We got Just Ask Jack trivia question today. I don't have the answer in the question today, so he's going to have to definitely think about this.
I hope it's
so. We're going to go
a couple of weeks ago.
Let's go. The what?
I hope the trivia.
Are you talking about Jimmy Brown? That question
No, the question I sent you 3 weeks ago that was extremely good. I wanted you to use it and you haven't yet. I'm so sad.
Okay, please send it to me again. All right, and I will definitely. I promise you, I will use it next. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So here we go, Jack. This is for you. Which team scored the most points in a Super Bowl game? Okay.
It's an easy
one. Put up there, right? Yes. Which team scored the most points in the Super Bowl?
It's
an easy one for James. So let's see if you can get it.
It ain't who James thinks.
No, we
Watch.
got to do commercials and stuff. That's the question. That's the question. So it sounds like Jack might have the answer. That's good. Because,
no. I mean, one pops into my head immediately, but now, I'm starting to question whatever.
James ain't right, I tell you that, because he answered too quick.
Okay,
Like,
all right.
I know what it is.
Well, James is probably right.
No, he's always right. I want him not to be right this time.
No, I think James is right. James is more tuned into this than I am.
Really is.
I defer to James a little more.
No, don't defer to me.
I know you got
okay,
this.
so
James
let's come back after these commercials.
You see, I'll get the one with the second most points, but James got my back. He'll get the one with the most points.
You got to answer. You got to answer. James will get this out.
Introducing National Streaming Sports, live and on-demand sports talk programming that you can access 24/7. For the premier sports talk experience, tap into our Roku channel. Start your mornings with Mac and Jack covering all the weekend sports action. Then pour a cup and enjoy all the sports you can drink on the Coffee and Sports podcast. At midday, talk sports from east to west on the Coast to Coast podcast. Followed at night by some hot girl talk with Prim and Proper Sports featuring Sonia Pearson. Talk boxing on the Gloved Fist. Yankee fans tune in for Start Spreading the News. And there's more on the College Sports Huddle and Sports Scope with Robert Butler. There are 20 podcasts in all and 70 weekly shows giving us a 3.4-star viewer rating. To find us on Roku TV, search for National Streaming Sports on the Roku search bar. Click on the logo and you're in. National Streaming Sports, live and on-demand sports talk for America.
Oh, Jack.
There seems to be hundreds of betting sites out there. Don't be fooled. Some sites are only legal in certain states. Some sites pay you in Bitcoin. Then you have to change it into dollars. One of the sites was even hacked. BetUS has been in business for over 30 years. My friend made a future bet, and by the end of the month has a 50% chance to make $17,000. You can bet on futures on anything. Who makes the Super Bowl? Who wins the Super Bowl with great odds? The National College Football Championship. The NBA games are up and going. And of course, you can bet on who wins the NBA championship. The WNBA is up and playing too. BetUS has all the casino games too, if you like that. Just scan the code on the right-hand corner, brings you to BetUS. NESSP.info also has BetUS links. Check it out and bet responsibly.
Yo, you already know it's your boy LCF. I just tore it up for Zodiac TV. Shout out DJ Epps. Oh man, it was great, man. We did an interview. Then I hit the stage. The crowd was amazing. They gave me all their energy. I gave them that energy back. Linked up with some dope artists in the building. Zodiac TV, man. Hey, we gonna celebrate for the rest of the night, you know what I mean? With some Bel Air. Shout out my nigga Rose. Holla at your boy. I mean, boss shit, you already know. But we tore it up, man. Performance was amazing. The set was amazing. Zodiac TV, shout out y'all boys, man. Thank you for having me. You already know I'm gonna come back. Your boy finna come back. Go to work. Did it all for nothing. Make sure y'all go get that single, available on all platforms. Let's go.
My girl just told me that she pregnant, we expecting the shit. So I had to buckle down, accelerate, no slowing down. Some people, that's why I don't come around.
The faces I see underneath during that commercial are priceless. I mean, Sonia's shaking her head. James is like,
Yes, I have to
the
mute
commercial.
that
So
commercial.
I mean,
I have to mute that commercial every time because if not, this dude is hilarious. I was just texting J Train like, hey,
okay,
I
all right.
texted him like, I can't listen to my girl just found out she pregnant. I can't. I just cannot.
That's right. So we're back. Let's see if Jack Hirsch gives the right answer to this. Which team has scored, Jack, the most points in a Super Bowl?
I got to get the team, and I could also name the Super Bowl game. I might be off a point or two, so I'm not going to even tell you the amount of points, but it would be Jimmy Johnson in his fourth year as head coach of the Cowboys when they beat the Buffalo Bills, and the Bills turned the ball over 9 times. They scored in the 50s, I think about 55 or thereabouts. That would be the one. Originally, it popped into my head, the Bears beating the Patriots 46-10, and the Niners 49-26 over the Chargers. And then that Cowboy team that went wild in the swung in the mid-50s or thereabouts.
James, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with that. That's the pick I was going to pick if he didn't say it.
It was? Okay.
50. Wow, 1990.
49ers had 55 points in 1990.
I
Wow.
thought
Who they
40
play
I
against?
thought it was
So,
40.
what
You
was,
didn't
wait,
ask me. I was gonna say the 49ers, but okay.
wait. What game was that, and what was the score? What are we talking about here?
What are we
I'm with you,
talking
Jack.
about?
I don't remember this, but I'm.
Wait. What game are you talking about, Mac? Against the Chargers?
Yeah, they didn't play in.
You were
Was
going
it?
to say it,
Was
Sonia?
it? Oh yeah, they did play in 90. Was it 89 and 90? No. They won in 88 and 89.
90,
Give me the.
they beat the Denver Broncos.
Oh yeah. No, didn't they? 90 is. I mean, okay. The Super Bowl was
What
in
was the
90,
score?
Jack,
What
but
was
it was
the
it was the
score?
season
What
of
was the score?
1989.
1990.
What was the score?
50, it was 56-10, not 55.
Yeah, I
And
remember.
and the Cowboys won. What did the Cowboys win? 55-21.
52 was the Cowboys. The Cowboys put up 52.
52.
Can I-
Okay,
can I-
good one.
can I-
Yes, we
can I
missed
say-
it. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yes.
If you had given me that question, I would have gotten it right for 2 reasons. I remembered it was the 49ers, and I remembered it was the Broncos who ironically beat us. So that's how I remember that game. But I thought, I
Ah,
thought maybe Jack and James were right.
Wait.
But I will say this. That was the Cowboys scored all those points when they did, and that was the last we've seen of them. So they scored all they could in that particular Super Bowl. I think they might have went back one other time. I don't remember, but we ain't seen them no more.
The Cowboys repeated as Super Bowl champions the following year.
One
And
time.
then 2 years after that, they won it again. So they didn't disappear.
Oh, well, okay.
They disappeared after that as far as Super Bowls went.
Oh, wow. I got that wrong. Okay, thanks, Jack. You could have
The
put
Cowboys
that in
would
chat.
have won that scoring record if Leon Lett would have held the ball out and let Don Beebe knock it out of his hand.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you guys, I don't know as much.
holy
Yeah,
outlet.
Wow.
Well, yeah. The
Oh,
Panthers
yeah.
won that Super Bowl.
Careful, Jack.
They won
We're
2
doing-
Super Bowls.
we're
More
doing
than
well
the Jets.
here. We're doing well.
2 Super Bowl appearances.
Yeah. How many Jets
So
got?
Yes.
one for the Jets, none for the Lions, none for the Browns.
The Jets haven't gone to the Super Bowl?
Once, I
And
mean,
what
but
happened?
and they won the most historic Super Bowl
Yeah, I
of them
know.
all.
With the dude with the fur coat, Joe Namath.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. That's my boy
Yes,
right
the
there.
two-
Joe Namath. With
he
that
shouldn't
big
have been
coat.
the MVP of that game. Though it should have gone.
Those
to
running backs
He was
were
good.
the reason that they won that game.
Well,
The
Matt
defense.
Snell was.
I love Joe
should have been
Namath.
MVP.
He's a gangster.
Joe Namath wore stockings too. He wore female stockings. to let you know.
Oh, okay,
Just,
Joe. He was a real pimp.
Is that why they call it Broadway Joe?
Well,
Bro.
no, listen, at the time, I mean, that kept you warm. You
No, because
wore
he
that
had
under
his
your
way with the
pads.
bras.
The stock.
We're seeing a
Penny.
lot. Talk about the Panthers. We're seeing a lot of Cam Newton on ESPN with that
Oh,
big
wow.
hat.
You see how
I mean,
Jack just
Matt-
switched it?
Cam Newton strikes me as a nice person, but that hat of his, I don't care for that. But I guess it gives him his image. Was he liked by the players when he was the quarterback? Was he
Yeah.
considered a prima donna at all, or was he really
No.
popular in the locker room?
No, when he was in Carolina, everybody loved him. I went to several personal invited things with the team, so I actually got to see this. This is not just what I've read. He even took the rookies in. Like there's a little clip of him. They had their own little handshake. Like that was the height of the Panthers season, and we were winning, so everybody loved him. Like the dab was contagious. Now they never thought it. Like in fact, when people would talk about him carrying purses and stuff, other players would come out and like have his back on social media. They never felt negative about him at all. And even to this day, the fans always welcome him back. Like you remember when he came back a couple seasons ago, like everybody still loves him. Like he is that guy. So only everybody outside of our organization got something for Cam. But thanks, Jack.
I'll tell you one thing. That is one big man.
Yeah.
When I
met
saw
him
what
in
he did to
person,
those,
like 6'7"
three
for real.
punks, when he did this, when he handled those 3 guys at I don't know where that was. I mean, he was
Yes.
just tossing them around like they were
His hat
sacks.
didn't move. That
Wow,
hat
it
was
was
the
just-
real MVP. He looked like
It
Gandor out
did.
there.
That stayed on. That's true. It did stay on. All right, back to the list. Offensive Player of the Year, Saquon Barkley. Anybody else that you think could have won that as Offensive Player of the Year?
Joe Burrow.
No.
I mean, he
Yeah,
led
he got-
statistically and
he
everything.
got-
So it's.
Joe
But
Burrow?
you're gonna. It's probably better to give an award to the guy that that's leading his team to wins. But I mean, do you count against Joe Burrow playing? He doesn't play defense. That defense was horrible in Cincinnati, and yet he still kept them in games with a lot of scoring power. So I mean, it's really unfortunate when you don't have a defense to help you, at least a bend but don't break defense to help you win games. But yeah, that was. I mean, I'm not mad at Saquon. I think he should have won it.
Who was
I'm
the
just saying,
number
if there's
one
anybody else that
scoring?
probably could have won it, it could have been Joe Burrow.
Who was the number one scoring tight end for this season?
I'm not sure.
Whoever
sure.
that person was,
I don't know if it's
they were
Kittle.
just-
Maybe it's Kittle.
Yeah, Kittle or yeah. I was wondering, and I wanted to name somebody else from Baltimore. I thought before he got hurt, that Zay Flowers was pretty stand up. You know, I think Saquon got it just because off default he was breaking all these records.
Wait. Let me get
How about
this
Jamar?
straight. You're voting for Saquon Barkley, Sonia, but you're saying Zay Flowers should be given consideration as Offensive Player of the Year.
Because I was just thinking of other players that were playing very good, like, you know, as not on the high level of Saquon, but you know.
You would not be critical of someone if they voted for Zay Flowers over Saquon Barkley as Offensive Player of the Year.
Well,
You wouldn't be critical of him. You disagree, but you'd say, well, yeah, I understand the
let me just look at the stats and tell you why I said that. One moment, please.
Well, one's a receiver, one's a running back. I mean, it's kind of hard to compare.
Yeah, I know what they are. Thank you, Jack, for that.
Yeah.
You could have put that in the chat. Once again, you trying to come for me.
Well, look,
Like,
I
what
don't
is
see
going
Wait,
on?
Sonia,
Did
I
you
don't
miss
see
me last
Mac or
week?
J Train coming to your defense. So you
Not
know,
coming to my defense. I think you just missed me last week.
I would have somebody else. I mean, I don't know what Zay Flowers' numbers was, but I might take Jamar Chase. I think Jamar Chase had a fantastic season this year.
Triple Crown winner.
So
Yeah.
I'm not saying I would take him over.
what James doesn't consider the whole season. James loves pointing to a stat. Saquon Barkley was consistent from beginning to end. Joe Burrow got off to a slow start. Remember, they lost their opening game against the Patriots. Joe Burrow did not play well. He did not play well early in the year.
Oh, my
He
goodness.
all these great stats, and he was great after a few games. But it's wire to wire. Saquon Barkley did it wire to wire.
And he did it behind what type of offensive line there? What type of offensive line did he do that behind?
Offensive line that
hot garbage.
The Eagles had for
Oh,
years.
no, it wasn't no hot garbage offensive line.
They were garbage.
The Eagles had the best offensive line in football. It's clearly they have the best offensive line in football.
And I love the Bengals. I'm always a Joe Burrow fan, but they're garbage this year. And
No, you're right. No, I'm saying what offensive line did Saquon Barkley do it behind? Yeah.
Oh, hold on, Jack. I got the stats up for Zay Flowers real quick. Zay Flowers for this season had 74 receptions and 1,059 yards, averaged 14.3 per carry, and had 4 touchdowns.
Receptions.
That's not that great,
That's not
Sonia. I bet Justin
That's
Jefferson
enough.
had more receptions.
Yeah.
So Jamar Chase had a better year than
We're
that.
gonna find out. I'm about to look for other people too.
Okay. Don't look for other people.
So,
I don't want you to embarrass yourself. You
Nah,
know,
you
it'll hurt you.
embarrassing yourself. 'Cause
You're
I'm
an
about to
attorney,
bring that
and
out.
you're going to hurt your
You only know
argument.
about players from the 60s, Jack.
And 70s.
Killipy agrees. Jamar Chase, 2 to 5 season this particular year. He did have a great season. So I'm not mad. Saquon won. He deserved it. But I'm just throwing other names that would be out there. Defensive Player of the Year, Patrick Surtain.
Yeah, he was
Jack, what do you
great. It's hard to argue against him. A lot of times we look for a defensive end, all the sacks, this and that. Surtain established himself as the best cornerback in the NFL last year. As far as I'm concerned, he was outstanding.
Why you didn't ask about Tyreek Hill? He could have been in there as a top wide receiver
Of what?
of Offensive Player of the Year.
Tyreek Hill. I'll let J Train handle this one.
No, they got him as number 1. I'm trying to tell you for wide receivers.
This past season,
Yes, sir.
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill, the Miami Dolphin wide receiver. Are we correct? The one that quit.
Oh,
on
you
us?
know what? Hold on. This article from last season. I'm sorry. Let me be quiet. Go ahead.
There
on,
you go.
y'all. I'm on
Jack sounded like Jack.
Nah, you were just joking with us, Sonia. You tried to put one
Jack sounds like
over on me
Mora.
to show how little I
Jack
know.
Jack sounds like Mora.
He's
Doesn't
horrible.
he? Tyreek Hill? Playoffs? That's what
What a
Jack's
what
gotta
the,
like for a while.
the worst. He is the
Playoffs.
absolute worst.
All right. Comeback player of the year, Joe Burrow.
No, Sam
I-
Darnold, without a doubt.
I
Should've been
disagree.
Sam Darnold.
I have one that all you could comment on. Sonia could lead it off. Comeback play of the year. Why not Aaron Rodgers?
Nah, you got
Coming
nothing
back
to
from
do
the
with him on
Achilles
first
and
down.
putting up stats comparable to Patrick Mahomes. His stats were
No,
comparable.
No, sir.
You look, Sonia, you're a stat person. Compare Rodgers' stats to Mahomes this year. I want you to start looking that up if you don't mind. You don't have to, but if you don't mind.
I'll look it up, but I can't. You know what? I'm sitting on my church property right now, ready for service to start. You like to make me say a bad word, and I'm working.
Aaron Rodgers comeback play of the year.
With Sam Darnold, but I'll go ahead and look at these stats. Let me go ahead and look them up.
Doesn't comeback player of the year have nothing to do with injury now? Is that one of the criteria?
Oh yeah.
He wasn't that good the year before the injury. He was so so. So you could kind of piggyback off what he did the year before that too. It doesn't have to be just he had one bad year before. I think comeback. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is debatable. If a player who was once very good had 3 seasons in a row where he was so and then had a great season, does that make him eligible, or should it just be one down year that he comes back from? I'm not certain.
It's a good question. I'm not sure.
Yeah. You
I would
come
think
back
it'd be
and
1
get your
year.
career
I mean,
back
you can't go
on
back
track.
2 years.
You know, that's to me what it is, but
Well, then
Yeah, to me, comeback
you
would be
could-
like
then
you
you
were
could say
good, and then
Sam
you
Darnold.
weren't good, and then you got good again. I mean, you became good again.
I mean, like in the case of Derek Carr, if he has a great year next year as Saints quarterback, is he eligible for it? But you have to have been very good beforehand to get it, I think. I don't think Sam Darnold would be a comeback player of the year, because what did he come back from? Was he that good at any point to begin with? That's what I kind of wonder. Even though I can understand Darnold getting votes, but what did he come back from? That's what I want to know. Baker Mayfield, yes. Because if Baker Mayfield, was good a couple of years with the Browns, he was their quarterback. He was supposed to be for a lot of years. Then he had downtime, and then when he went to Tampa Bay, he had a really good year.
Hold on, you skipped over his Panthers time. Don't do that, because he was good with us for a little bit too.
No, he wasn't good with the Panthers. No,
yes, he was. We got a few wins out of him.
No, but he didn't have a good season with the Panthers at any point.
Let's check and see that, because I don't believe that.
Sonia's on a tear.
No, I'm sick of this. This is not going to happen.
No, but it doesn't matter.
Well, I mean,
Mayfield
could
was
you-
good at one point before getting to Tampa Bay.
Well, he was good with the Browns, yeah.
I mean, I'll give you the comeback of the player
couple
of the
good
year
years with the
candidate
Browns.
next year. A guy like a Jimmy Garoppolo. He's been quiet the last few years. Let's say he has a great year next year, for someone, the Rams or whoever. Let's say hypothetically, he would be a candidate because at one point he was pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Well, he won a bunch of games with us.
I guess.
I'm trying to narrow it down. Jack is right about this
Why not
garbage.
Bryce Young?
Rodgers?
But I mean this. But I don't think the Jets weren't good at all. So Rodgers, in all reality, shouldn't gone any votes because the Jets were terrible last year.
Aaron Rodgers lost a lot of. Aaron Rodgers lost a lot of games at the end of the games, Jack. At the end of the season, he threw a lot of picks, made some bad throws. He wasn't that good his last year with the Packers. He got hurt for a year. I mean, you're gonna have to go back 4 years if you're gonna say Aaron Rodgers.
No, that's not true. Last year, he
and I don't think it was
over. Jet defense blew games at the end.
Yeah,
leads chances to win. But I
hate
agree
to
he
say
wasn't
it.
good on balance.
I hate to say it, Mac, but Jack is right on this one because I'm looking at the comparison of Rodgers to Mahomes, and they are neck and neck. Even though the Jets are garbage as far as Aaron Rodgers versus Patrick Mahomes, they are like only like 30 points difference on a lot of stuff.
But the stats are deceiving. They're deceiving as far as how both guys
Sure are.
play.
Patrick
Both obviously
Mahomes,
played better, a lot better.
had 3,928 yards, and Rodgers had 3,897 yards, and they both scored 26.5 points per snap. Let me see the touchdowns. That's the only thing that's different. No, they both had 11 interceptions too. So there you go.
Well, if Mahomes shows up today and puts up an
it-
Aaron Rodgers type of performance, the Chiefs are going to be in trouble. I'll tell you that.
They sure would. I would agree with that. Really, I like Jack as he's an honest Jets fan. That's why I like Jack.
And he just
Yeah.
keeps
I mean,
gunning.
I'll give you
but I
that
gotta
little.
correct. Yeah, Rodgers did hand over some leads to the Jet defense, and the Jet defense didn't hold. They weren't positioned to win games. That's why Rodgers, I think, goes somewhere else next year. I'm not certain of that, but I could see a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers feeling they can tweak him and maybe win with him. Where does Russell Wilson go? I get the feeling the Steelers are moving on from him.
He going down there with his daddy, Pete Carroll.
From what I read,
They can have a good relationship.
Yeah, he's not coming
yeah,
back.
No,
They're not bringing him back.
No.
Yeah, he going down there to the Raiders
From
with
what
his
I-
daddy,
yeah,
Pete
from what
Carroll.
I read,
He going with his
No,
daddy.
that's not happening.
it doesn't make sense. But
They didn't have a good relationship. at
that
the
doesn't
end.
make sense. Yeah, I know, Jack. I know you're right. You're right, and it doesn't make sense to me either. But the last thing I read was he was headed to the Raiders. That
I
was the
told you.
last thing. Now that could be right or wrong. I don't know.
It's
But
possible.
But that's the last thing I read. But it makes no sense to me.
I get a feeling. I don't know whether you agree with me that some way, somehow, Shador Sanders is going to slip
Lord.
to number 6 to the Raiders. I just
Possibly.
get that. I get that feeling. I don't know why. He's not the Giant type of guy. With the Giants' conservative nature, a flamboyant guy like Shador with his dad. He doesn't fit into the Giant culture. Something tells me he doesn't go there. But lately, Shador Sanders wants to play for the Giants. He's talking about how awesome Brian Daboll is and this and that. If he does go to the Giants, I think
Daboll.
it'll be because of Daboll. Thank you. It's really going to push for him extra hard for as being his.
Well, he was
I
wearing
have a
Giant
feeling he's
cleats.
going to be a Raider. I don't know why.
Jack knows
Possible.
about every
Anything's
team on here but
possible.
his own today. He coming for everybody.
Jets go number 7. They need. I don't see what they're doing at quarterback. I mean, it's. I don't know what Aaron Glenn is thinking.
Mm.
Listen, I think that I think the Giants and the Jets and maybe New Orleans all missed last year's draft with all the good quarterbacks that were out there. I think they could have made some moves and got somebody.
Where did
Especially
New
the
Orleans
Giants.
go
I
last
know
year?
that for
Well,
a
were
fact.
they in a position to draft anyone? I
See,
just
now he
think
coming
they
for you,
were.
James. See what I'm talking about?
You know, Mac, you were saying for years you were arguing with me the virtues of how good Derek Carr was. We were arguing it, and now you're saying the Saints made a mistake not drafting a quarterback. And just admit you were wrong about Derek Carr.
What is
I was
in your
right all the
coffee,
years.
Jack?
Derek
got a
Carr's
lot-
not a
he
starting.
aiming at
NFL.
Listen,
everybody
I
today.
think when he played with the Raiders, when Derek played with the Raiders, he had the Adams with him. They beat the Chiefs. They beat a lot of good teams, Jack. They went in the playoffs. So at one time, Derek Carr was a really good. I think was a really good quarterback.
When
I don't know
Adams
if
was
it's
with
because
them,
of the
they
Saints
didn't go
or
to the playoffs.
what happened.
They didn't go to the playoffs with Adams.
Well, I don't know who
Adams
was
a
with him,
college receiver.
but I know they did. But I do know that the Raiders did go to the playoffs and they did beat the Chiefs, maybe twice one year. So I think Derek Carr at one time was one of the better quarterbacks in the league. I don't know what's happened
He
to him,
wasn't even
but at
close
one time
to
I think he
that, but
was.
He was a fringe starter. He's an outstanding backup quarterback. That's about where he should be put. Who could start and fill in, at times and at times be successful as a starter, but you don't want to move forward with him. You really don't.
I have to agree with you only in the fact that he's a bridge starter now. But I would agree with Mac that a few times back in the day, and within his 10-year career, he's had some bright moments where he was a star, a top 10 quarterback.
He was never top 10 quarterback.
I
That
agree.
John Gruden milked him out, for a little
Dang.
while and
Wow.
elevated him.
Jack, I just want to know what's in your coffee. I need a little bit of it to get through this week because you have got an
Tequila.
arsenal. He got an arsenal full for everybody. He done took shots at everybody on this panel today. I'm glad Keith got off when he did.
That's why Keith got out. Why?
All right.
I'm putting down my own Jets.
I gotta
so
look.
I'm
I'm looking
attacking
something up real quick
myself.
about Derek Carr because
Mac
I believe-
about to start using his mute
I believe
button.
that I'm corrected.
Oh, he done muted him. He muted him for real.
Let's
Or
see.
did Jack mute himself?
Okay.
No, Mac was saying the Jets should sign Derek Carr when he was available before he went to the Saints, and I was saying, please, no, whatever you do, don't sign him. And that was proven correct. What a blunder it would have been. I mean,
God forbid
not that even though the
you're
Jets
ever wrong
haven't done
about
anything
anything,
otherwise.
Jack.
At least with Aaron Rodgers, we're entertained. Derek Carr wouldn't have even been entertaining. He's arguing with his own offensive lineman going off the field. They're yelling at one another. I mean,
Jack got a Rolodex of memories. Like, he gonna pull it out. Like, he love to be like, yeah, you said it's a no-brainer 2 seasons ago. I'm like, what? Jack, I wasn't even on the network then. I saw it on your Facebook post. I want to talk to you about it.
So in 2014, Derek Carr had 3,270 yards passing, 21 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. First one to start since Rick Gannon. Let's see what we got for the following year because I know he had some good years. 3 touchdowns. The Raiders, Mariah Carr returned to the start second week against the Raiders. The Ravens. Won 37-33, over 350 yards. Let's see, 3 touchdowns. So that was against the Ravens. 2016, let's see, the fourth quarter. Yeah, another good year, Jack. So for
anyone who plays is going to put up numbers. They got to put up numbers. Any quarterback who's going to be there, they're going to dunk and dink or whatever, like Peyton Manning did in the Super Bowl against the Broncos. He was dreadful in that game, yet he set a Super Bowl record for passes completed. Okay, you have to, according to the circumstances. We got a VIP here, so, I'm going to defer to him.
Yes, we
Hey,
do.
Pags.
We got Pags. You got to be down at the Super.
Eagle.
Are you at the Super Bowl right now, Pags?
Well, I am yes, I'm down in New Orleans. I'm not at the Super Bowl as we speak here. It's
Oh, he cocky already. Listen what he talking. How he talking to you like it ain't started yet. Good luck, man. I'm taking this.
Wow. All right.
So,
Yeah, I'm
so
down
of
here.
course, we know you're taking. I know you're taking Eagles to win, but I want to ask you a question I asked everybody before. If you were the Chiefs head coach, how would you beat the Philadelphia Eagles today?
Tell Spags to figure out how to get 12 men on defense. That's going to be the interesting spot.
Seriously,
Well, no, well, and it's funny that I'm saying it like that. I don't mean it that way, but you have to figure out a way to kind of scheme to have like just about 8 men in the box, still be able to cover everybody well. That's what you're going to need to do. I feel like that they are going to scheme towards stopping Saquon. And that also means that they're going to have to do man coverage on everybody else. So when I start to think about the man coverage on everybody, and keying specifically on Saquon. My thought is that you have McDuffie, who's going to go against AJ Brown. And although I say AJ Brown I give him a slight advantage, it's not too big of an advantage that I don't think McDuffie could make some plays. The next thing that I think of is that you have the Devontae Smith one-on-one with their second cornerback, and I think that's where the biggest disparity is going to be. So I feel that they'd have to somehow figure out a way to get safety help on that, because then you have Dallas Goedert that you have to worry about as well. So
Right.
I that's going to be the important part. I think that our defense is going to be able to handle the Chiefs offense. The hardest part about this is Kelsey. Obviously, Kelsey is the factor. I'm not worried about my cornerbacks. I'm more concerned about the linebackers against Kelsey. And I was talking to a couple of football players this week while I was on Radio Row, and we were discussing how so the Eagles this week brought back in Brent Selleck to help with the tight end to try to mimic Kelsey. And the difference is that Kelsey and Mahomes play a sort of backyard football that isn't the same as you run routes, but Kelsey is super intelligent to know how to beat zones. So if he's supposed to do like a banana route, he'll be able to stop at a certain time knowing that he's going to be open there rather than doing the whole route. And Mahomes also knows that because they've been together so long. That's that backyard football that they just understand what each other is going to do, and they execute that way. That's going to be the hardest part for the Eagles. The other thing is that when you're on the defensive line, you must stay in your lane. You cannot allow Mahomes to get out of the pocket and start to try to beat you with his legs. The last 2 games, he's done that specifically, and you cannot allow that to occur today.
Okay. Any worry about either of the running backs, Pags? I mean, you got a big runner. You got Pacheco, who's a very hard runner, and then you got that big bull back there. And you can run against the Eagles. You may not be successful, but you can control the clock somewhat and run the ball and maybe do play action.
So I'm not as concerned about that. There may be a concern like on third down, especially when they start to bring in. Obviously, Brandon Graham is cleared to play today, and he's going to be in there. And I feel like that he's going to be a third down specialist specifically, and that is what makes me a little nervous on third and medium yardage. I'm saying 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. I'd be willing to bet that Andy Reid is going to start to maybe run the ball in those cases rather than pass, and take advantage of the fact that Brandon Graham is got really, he's probably playing with really 1.5 arms. I got to imagine that other arm, as strong as it may be, isn't ready. He's probably a step slow for the Super Bowl, even though his cardio was never affected really with this injury. And you don't have Jordan Davis in the middle because they usually bring in their third down guy to rush the quarterback. So Jordan Davis is in there. He takes up so much space on the line, you're not able to run the ball. And then, of course, you have Carter, who's going to have to, again, he's going to be double teamed most of the time. So I'd be willing to bet that if I was Andy Reid, I would actually consider running the ball on 3rd and 4 and 3rd and 5, because I feel that you may have an advantage against the defensive line.
Yeah, All right. Welcome back, Sonia. Sonia's back in here with us right now.
Sorry, guys. Bathroom break.
Well,
I guess
Pags,
I guess
I just want to ask him the crowd split for today's game in the stands. I mean, I know the Eagle fans are well traveled. I have to assume the Chief fans are going to be for this game. What's going to be the crowd noise? Because it is on a neutral field.
From looking, it looks to me it's going to be about 60, 25, 15. So that's 15% of the people that don't care, 25% Chiefs, 60% Eagles fans. That's what the split looked like yesterday on Bourbon Street and Frenchman Street, and where you saw a lot more green than red, but you definitely saw pockets of red. And then you saw the other people that just don't care. But I will say that most of the people from New Orleans, most of the people that I have spoken to from not Kansas City or not Eagles fans are mostly pulling for the Eagles.
Yep. Cause we sick of them chefs. We sick of them. I'm pulling for y'all.
Me too.
Listen. I mean, the last game they played was a very tight game, 38-35 or something like. I know it's 3 points that decided it. Could have went the Eagles' way. I mean, a lot of people are predicting. I've seen a lot of experts predict all Chiefs. I've seen a lot of experts predict all Eagles. I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be very close. And I think if Patrick Mahomes, and I picked the Eagles to win this, by the way, but if Patrick Mahomes gets that ball last, I think the Eagles might be in trouble, Pac.
And that's the one common thing that I have heard from everybody else as well. That if it's within a touchdown, under 2 minutes, and Patrick Mahomes has a ball, that we're all going to be doing the pucker. Because we're all going to be very nervous about what could happen in that moment. And how can you not? How can you not? Does that mean that he's infallible? Listen, Michael Jordan missed more last second shots than he made. And that's a real statement. But he's still the best that's ever played the game. I heard something. I was talking to Rob McElhenney last night. It's so awesome being down at the Super Bowl and the people that you get to run into and talk to and stuff like that. So I'm talking to Rob McElhenney. Of course, he owns Wrexham. Well, Tom Brady owns one of the soccer teams in his league. So he's been speaking with Tom Brady a lot. And Tom said, out of all the people that he thinks, out of all the quarterbacks out there, that he thinks Mahomes is going to break all of his record. He feels that Mahomes is that guy and could possibly be the best player to ever put on football pads.
Wow.
Tom Brady saying that. And I don't know why Rob McElhenney would lie about something like that. So I can't imagine. I mean, I got to imagine that came right from the horse's mouth. That is really high praise for somebody coming from Tom Brady.
Well, if Brady said it, we would have heard Brady say it himself. We wouldn't have had to hear a report coming in because Brady's all over the media. Pags, a question that I posed early in the show before you came on, and Keith Engel disagreed with me on this. 2 years ago, I feel it was a little bit of a factor, both Eagle coordinators having head coaching jobs, Gannon and Steichen. It may have affected the Eagles in their loss. May have. I'm not saying it did, but it can't be, disregarded completely as a factor. Kellen Moore is going to be the same coach. They're going to announce it after this game.
They announced it already. They announced it yesterday.
They announced it, yeah. Oh, okay.
They did?
No,
did.
It's not official yet.
It's not official, but it was announced yesterday.
We know it's happened. We know that's going to be the case. Everyone knows that. You agree on that. Can it just be tiny bit of a factor here, negative factor for the Eagles, because no doubt Kellen Moore's game planning, he's doing the best he can, but it's got to be a distraction. He's also looking at the Saint personnel. Don't tell me he's completely ignoring the New Orleans Saints till this game is over.
Well, listen, what does it serve him to actually be thinking about that? I mean, listen, Kellen Moore hasn't won a ring. You know, like at some point, you have to think that you are a competitor. He has no Super Bowl rings. This is his only chance right now, because I tell you, the Saints aren't going to be there anytime real soon. He has to work a couple of years to be able to get there, and they're going to have to give him that. So that's a lot to ask for from any coach, and they are in cap hell. So
Saints can contend next year. They got Derek Carr as their starting quarterback, one of the best in the NFL.
Don't pay him no mind, Pags. Jack has
Pags,
really on
I'm
one.
gonna have to. You're gonna see some shots fired back in just a moment. He keeps throwing shots at my team.
Just like Pags told him. Just like Pags said what Tom Brady said about Patrick Mahomes, and Jack gonna sit up there and say, "Well, we ain't heard it." So Pags ain't got no reason to lie.
No, Pags.
No
I'm
gossip.
saying we don't have to hear reportedly that Tom Brady said something. Tom Brady's in the media a lot. He gives a lot of interviews.
But we
hear him say it ourselves.
That's all we need to hear. We heard it first from Pags, and let him have that.
The guy I do the show with Monday Night Glove is Frank Laterzo. He's from Philadelphia. He's picking the Eagles to win, but he's betting against them. He's practically praying the Eagles lose, but he bets on the Eagles, hoping he loses his money.
Yeah.
But Laterzo feels too, and I mentioned, if the Eagles lose, it's going to be the ugliest possible scene in Philadelphia, because there's anticipation in Philadelphia of the Eagles winning the Super Bowl this year. Not just hope, anticipation. The Eagle fans can taste it. This will be the biggest disappointment at all if it doesn't happen. That's what he says.
I think that's going to be determined by the game itself. I think that. So here's the thing that I do believe. I believe that Kansas City has got arguably the best tight end to ever play the game, the best quarterback to ever play the game, and one of the top defensive linemen in the game. The Eagles have the best team in the NFL, and that actually should outweigh those three bests. And that's the difference. I was listening to two football players talk to each other. And, the one's like, all right, what do you have? How do you have this go? And of course, the one guy said the Eagles, and he goes, so explain to me what happens, like how that is, in a real sense. And these are two football players that, one being Seth Joyner. I mean, Seth Joyner was one. The other one was Dr. Irving Fryer. And Seth Joyner explained it just like that. He said, you have the best quarterback in the league. You have the best tight end, possibly to ever play the game. And you have Chris Jones, who's an amazing defensive lineman. You've got McDuffie. You've got some other great guys on defense, but those are your three key points. And you have the Eagles that are playing like the best team in football, and team will always beat individual. Now, again, you can't give the ball to Mahomes with 2 minutes left and only up by 1 point. So that's a real statement too. But I think that the Eagles are not going to be in that situation. I really believe that. I feel that this game is going to go where the Eagles are going to have a good lead, and that this defense is going to impose its will on the Chiefs' offense.
Couldn't have said it
well,
better.
They did have in the first Super Bowl against the Chiefs, they did have a big lead, right? right, Pags? They
We
had a
were,
big lead
we were up by 10 at
in
halftime.
the first Super Bowl, and the Chiefs came back in the second half.
Correct. Absolutely correct.
Right.
I think that
I mean,
I think that there is a level of when they went back into when they went in for halftime, there was a sense of calm. And I think that they didn't really make the right adjustments to be able to counter what the adjustments were going to be from the Chiefs. And I think that lesson was probably the biggest lesson learned from that Super Bowl. And I'll tell you that this year, with the struggles that the Eagles have had in the first quarter and in the first half, that they have been a second half team. That's the one thing that they have done best this year, more than probably any other team, has been able to make the adjustments at halftime. And I feel that this is going to be one of the keys to winning this game.
You know, there's
Yeah, I
going to
mean-
be the blame.
I mean, I
game.
know they for a while there, they hadn't scored a.
Oh, I think we have a delay a second or two, Mac, on there. But I think it's going to be the blame game if the Eagles lose, and the person most likely to get blamed no matter what is going to be Nick Sirianni. He's got 1 year left on his contract, and Jeff Lurie, the owners, talk glowingly of him, and it looks like he's going to get a big extension. He certainly will if they win. If the Eagles win, he's getting a very nice extension, but if they lose, and somehow the finger could get pointed at him, that changes a lot. I mean, he'll probably still gets an extension, but maybe not as lucrative and maybe not as many years.
I disagree. I think that he's one of 3 coaches to take his team to 2 Super Bowls in his first 5 years. It's or in his first 4 years even. So I don't really see. I think he gets an extension. I think he gets his money, and I don't think that that's a worry. We've done this with 5 different coordinators in the last 5 years, or in the next 5 years. Obviously, we got the 5th one about to happen after Kellen Moore accepts his job with the Saints. So I feel that there is, there's been a lot that he's had to endure to be able to do this. I think maybe one of only 2 coaches or 3 coaches to have make it to the playoffs in every year that he's coached. So there's only, listen, if even if we lose this game, Sirianni's going to be back, and he's going to get a very big extension.
No one's talking about with the Eagles, and it's a little early. It's too early to talk about it now, obviously. But they're going to be looking for an offensive coordinator next year. Is there any particular name who's around who could, be a possibility? Who Nick Sirianni's had a relationship?
I announced this maybe a month ago when Kellen Moore, when I thought Kellen Moore was going to wind up taking the job. I didn't know that it was the Saints. I think that the Eagles are going to go the route that they did with the defensive coordinator. They're going to find somebody older, somebody who's not interested in moving on to a head coaching position. They're going to pay him very well, and they're going to have it. And who fits that category better than anybody else than Frank Reich? I think Frank Reich becomes the next offensive coordinator of the Eagles again, and that now you've got 2 guys who are veteran guys, senior guys in the coordinator positions who aren't looking to upgrade the head coach. They're not trying to do that anymore. They're going to get paid very well. I mean, as of right this moment, the highest paid coordinator is Vic Fangio. He's getting $4.5 million a year. You give that to Frank Reich, there's no need for him to go try to be a head coach. He's already played that card. He's tried to do it twice, and it didn't work out either time, even though I think he got shafted both times. He's got a very good rapport with Nick Sirianni, and he's got a ring with the Eagles.
Whoa, I got a name for you. Pags. Doug Peterson is said to be a mentor to Nick Sirianni. And Doug Peterson, what about a return?
No chance. I would think that there's more of a chance for him for Frank Reich. Just my opinion. I think it's still too soon. I don't think you bring back your ex-coach that you fired to come be underneath the coach that you currently have. At least not in his first 5 years. You know what I mean? I think that Doug Peterson is probably going to wind up being a quarterback's coach, and I believe that he's going to be a quarterback's coach in Seattle. I think that's going to happen because that's his hometown.
It's possible. Definitely possible. Pags, we're going to let you go. Thank you for your reporting from New Orleans. I said I'm rooting for the Eagles, not for the Eagles, but for Saquon. Listen, you do a great job covering the Eagles for us and reporting, and we love having you on every Sunday. Pags, have a great day, my friend.
Hey, listen, and when you guys see me at the Super Bowl, when they show me in the stands, make sure everybody takes a shot.
I will. I always
Awesome, Pags.
I got you. Go Eagles.
Go Eagles.
Go Birds.
Go
Yeah.
Birds. The mayor from Philadelphia couldn't spell Eagles. She
All
was
right,
bad
buddy.
on social media.
I don't know. I guess everybody in the world saw now that I was on Pat McAfee, and they asked me about that.
Yes, Pat, I saw that. I was trying to ask you about it. I love that show.
Pags, I saw you did an interview where you were asked what you'd rather have: an annoying person sitting in the middle seat of on the airplane in your aisle next to you. Are you not having Wi-Fi or something like that?
No. Was it? Those were two separate questions.
Yeah.
One, would I have somebody, an annoying middle seat talker, or somebody who is barefoot on the plane?
Oh.
Yeah.
The middle seat talker. Thank you.
Yeah, it was the barefoot on the plane. I'm not keen on that. Like this.
Yeah.
Put on some shoes, buddy. You know what I mean?
Well, Pags, that depends how pretty your feet are, right?
I guess. I don't know. It's like I'm not. Just wear some shoes on the plane. You know what I mean? It's like I don't.
That's disgusting.
Let's be real.
Plane floors are disgusting.
Okay.
But to go back to what we
Pags,
were
have a
talking
good one,
about.
buddy. Good luck.
Well,
Go ahead.
I'm gonna do something I've never done in all the years.
Oh,
Super
Lord.
Bowls from Super Bowl I. And because I live in a complex here in Florida, when I'm here to winter, there are Eagle fans around. A lot of people from Philadelphia here. You don't see Kansas City. Every vibe I'm getting wherever I go is pointing towards an Eagle victory today. I kind of feel it's in the cards. And I'm going to flip my prediction officially. I'm picking the Eagles to win 31 to 20.
God.
31 to 20.
Run now, Pags.
Flipping.
Run.
I'm flipping officially. I'm going to text a couple of people. I'm going to text Frank Laterzo, who pinned me down early in the week where I picked the Chiefs, and my son-in-law, too, who asked me. I'm going to text them officially. This is officially it. Eagles 31, Chiefs 20. I just feel the Eagle personnel is, better. I just feel that way. I love Chris Jones and Trent McDuffie, don't get me wrong, but the Eagle offensive line is the best in the NFL. I mean, they should get it done, today. And if they don't, I don't think it's coming down to the last drive either, the way Pags is saying it. The Eagles should have won 2 years ago. That's what's bothering me about why I picked the Chiefs. The Eagles should have won the darn game. How do you live? The only way you get they got to win today. It doesn't redeem that loss. Don't get me wrong. But at halftime 2 years ago, I didn't see any way back for the Chiefs. You know, the fumble with Hurts that was returned for a touchdown. The vibes are too good with Philadelphia. Every way you turn, it's just too good. And the Chiefs have been living life on the edge. I know they were 15-2. They won so many nail biters. You know,
including against the Panthers, because we almost beat them. Let's be clear.
Exactly. The Eagles, the personnel is too good. The only thing that worries me a little bit with the Philadelphia offense is Hurts a little rusty in the passing game because they didn't really utilize A.J. Brown the way he did last year, the year before. See, it but I think they can turn the switch on between him and Devontae Smith and Goddard and Barkley and that offensive line. It's going to be a monster job for the Chiefs.
Here's what I do have. Since you didn't ask me, I know that you're saying that I'm winning the game, that we're going to win the game, but you didn't ask me my prediction. Here are my predictions. Here are the bets that I would make if I was betting today. The first thing I would bet is I got the Eagles winning this game 36-24. So I think that they win this game going away. It's going to be a 2-score game. So it won't matter if they get, I think it's going to actually be at some point like 36-17. And they're going to score a touchdown and then try to get an onside kick and things like that. I think it's going to be that almost a lopsided of a game. That being said, I think that I would take the under on Saquon Barkley at 115 yards. I think that they key on him enough, and he doesn't get 100 yards. He only winds up getting about 82 yards today. I would take the over with Dallas Goedert. I think he's going to get over 53 yards. And then I also think that you're going to see a Devontae Smith touchdown over 40 yards. And I think that's a real thing because the one mismatch I firmly believe is going to be out there is him against their cornerbacks. And unless they give safety help to him, which I suspect they're going to give safety help towards A.J. Brown, he's going to be man-to-man, and he's going to be able to beat that cornerback. And I think that could be one of the big plays of the game to be able to propel the Eagles to victory.
I want to use this clip, everything Pags just said. I want permission to copy it and reshare it as a clip, Matt, because that's detailed right there.
You have my permission.
That's a lot of show to send to you. A lot of show to send to you. 2 hours of a show to send to you to clip.
No, you don't have to.
I don't even if I can send you the whole 2 hours.
No, you don't have to send it. I got it shared on my platform, and I'm going to just save the clip from that and make a clip. I just want to make sure it's okay.
Okay, cool. There you go. Excellent.
Thanks.
Excellent. All right, so Jack flips his pick.
I just texted Frank Laterzo. He won't be too happy about it.
Jack sound like somebody studying the Bible with him, and he decided he wanted to be baptized.
I am flip-flop. I've never flip-flopped on a Super Bowl like this. But, I just think all the vibes everywhere I go are pointing to an Eagle victory.
Everybody's rooting for them, seriously. Like, it's been proven. They don't want the Chiefs to win. Like, it's out there.
Yeah, well, I think that the fact that there's vibes and stuff like that. Listen, there's a certain level of confidence that we all have. But again, if it comes down, if it's a 1-score game with 2 minutes left with Patrick Mahomes, it's going to be.
That's Frank right there texting him.
Listen, Laterzo just texted me back. He's picking the Eagles to win 34-27. He's not happy about it. He's upset about it. But he feels they're going to win.
Pag said he's leaving. Pag said he don't even want to hear that.
No, hold on. I got to bring Pags back in. Let's see. Come on, Pags.
Yeah, Laterzo's picking 34-27 the Eagles.
All right. So.
Oh, well, listen, I know Frank to be wrong most of the time. So, but this is because Frank is wrong. Frank will be wrong again, and he'll have to listen to me celebrating down Broad Street.
Hey, Lorraine.
All right.
What?
Like order number 8. ... Guess what? Since Jack is flipping, I'm flipping. I'm taking the Chiefs. How's that? I think the
Oh
Chiefs three-peat.
wow,
How's that?
Are you
I think the
serious?
Chiefs.
You're
Heck
joking.
with Saquon. He's not a
guys,
giant
off
anymore.
the chain.
I'm serious. I'm going with the Chiefs. Though I just flipped. Yes, three-peat the Chiefs.
That's a
I don't
little
care about all those close games. Jack talks about a win.
If Jalen
Staying with the Eagles,
Carter-
Pags. Eagles got this one, buddy.
Yeah,
Yeah, but-
Eagles got it.
But if
Hey, listen,
Jalen
I'm buying a
Carter's-
birthday card.
If
I'm
Jalen
buying a
Carter's truly
Oh,
injured,
today's
it does
my-
have an
this week was
effect
my
on the Eagles.
birthday. I just had a birthday, so go ahead and. I just turned 50 on the 4th, so it's officially almost a week now. So yeah, buy the birthday card.
Well, I'm buying a birthday card for both Saquon today and Cooper DeJean.
Yes.
But I'm not buying them a present because they're getting themselves a new
Yep.
ring for their
Today is
birthday.
their birthday. Today is their birthday, and that's why another reason why Aquarius rule. I'm wearing my purple, which is our birthstone, and we got it going. We'll put on some green later.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun day today. It's gonna be a very fun day today.
All right. So Pags, let me let you go now. We've had you on probably longer than we have in a long time, which is good because again, like I said, nobody covers Eagles like you. And of course, Pags, I wish you luck today. So have a great day. Enjoy the Super Bowl, and we'll be watching for you, buddy.
Thanks, guys, and go Birds.
Okay.
And
there
this
you
time
go.
he went ahead and got off.
So there you
before
go.
Jack asked another question.
Jack changes this.
Yeah,
Something what I do always, I always write down my predictions. I didn't write it down these last couple of weeks. I've been asked, but I never wrote it down. I mean, I'm saying it now. I'm going to write it down to make it official. But, I was wavering a bit last year when the Chiefs played the 49ers, but I settled on the Chiefs. I think we have to ignore what teams have done in the past because it really is irrelevant to today's game. And the Chiefs can get beaten in the Super Bowl. Like I said before, they got beaten badly by the Buccaneers. They're basically the same Chief team. They didn't go to the Super Bowl one year
What
because
they win?
Excuse me?
Won 4 and 5 years, right?
They won. No.
4 and 5 years, correct? They were at the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, they've won. Yeah, correct. But they lost to the game they lost to the Buccaneers. They lost badly. And then, they were beaten
out right
by
away.
Brady's Patriots another year in the AFC Championship game. Another year, the Bengal defense, put a beating on Patrick Mahomes. Is totally ineffective, where they blew a big lead to Chiefs and didn't go to the Super Bowl. The Chiefs can be had. It's not like they're invincible. It's not like they're Muhammad Ali in his prime.
You just said the regular
football.
You just said the regular season. You said the regular season don't mean nothing with the Super Bowl, and then you're gonna bring back former years.
Yeah.
When I said the regular season doesn't mean anything. I didn't say that.
You said it doesn't mean anything right now. Super Bowl is what I thought I heard you say that. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought I heard you say that the regular season really.
The past history isn't going to mean anything in today's game. It's great accomplishments in the past, but against the Eagles, it's not going to help them because they beat the Eagles 2 years ago with the 49ers in the past. But you can make this argument that you kind of indirectly made before. If there are 2 minutes left in the game and the Eagles up 2 points and Mahomes has the ball wherever and the Chiefs have the ball, yeah, there's going to be a lot of anxiety, maybe even on with the Eagle team themselves. Wow, this is all set up for, Patrick Mahomes because he's done it before.
Yeah. Real quick, I get a little NBA in there. We talked about the Super Bowl almost the whole day here and awards and all that stuff. Jimmy Butler agreed to a 2-year, $112 million contract with Golden State. I don't know if that helps Golden State a lot or not.
He's the Aaron Rodgers of the NBA right now. I thought Draymond and Kyrie were bad, but
that's a good one. I like that, Sonia. Good one. Good.
Yeah,
that is a good one.
Thank you.
Praise to you.
So
that makes sense. He's the Aaron scratches of the NBA, Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he's been problems wherever he's gone. I would imagine, listen, his playoff numbers are better than his regular season numbers.
Right.
I get it. He's a big playoff guy, but they got to get to the playoffs, and that.
Sometimes you want to look at it from Sometimes let's look at it from a player's viewpoint. Pat Riley's been a bit of an SOB. Let's be honest about it. And Jimmy Butler did take that Heat team to the finals twice. And sometimes you want to be appreciated a little more. The case of Dwayne Wade, he left the Heat because he felt he wasn't really appreciated. So he signed with the Chicago Bulls, and that was under Pat Riley. Pat Riley might not be the best of guys, put it that way.
Yeah, but you know what you're getting when you coming into this. I mean, it's not like a tiger changes his stripes. He doesn't. Pat Riley has always been this guy.
Yeah, he's the
always
same since he was with the
like
Lakers.
you said, you mentioned Dwayne Wade. I mean, but at the same time, it was a marriage that probably knew it was going to be short last. The benefit is outweigh the risk. They got to 2 championships. They just didn't get them. They got to 2 finals. But I think Jimmy Butler is going to be something that gives them a boost in the playoffs. Are they going to be contenders? I just don't think so. I think they're just too old to, and a little long in the tooth to compete with some of the younger teams like Houston or Dallas or Denver.
And I'm mad at Miami went and got Pat Riley that looked just like their previous coach. I can't even pronounce his name, but they look alike. I call him Peter Pan.
But Miami too got excellent value in Andrew Wiggins. That's an outstanding pick. But I like Andrew Wiggins a lot, so he's going to do really well at Miami.
The Luka Doncic exchange was bigger than anything with AD and all that. That was a whole shocker.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about that all week. I mean, that was a huge,
I missed you
huge
guys' show last
topic.
week, so
the Lakers.
I didn't get to talk.
That's all right. The Lakers, they traded Dalton Kavich. I thought was a really good rookie for Matt Williams, and all of a sudden, Matt Williams fails the physical, and Dalton Kavich is back with the Lakers where he belongs.
Yeah, that was a mess.
How do you, if you're a player, you hear these teams say, oh, how happy they are to have so-and-so back. I mean, come on. If you're the player, I'm just looking out for myself, basically. Now, I'll put on a happy face like I'm for the team, but I'm thinking of myself. I'm figuring the heck with you. You got rid of me. The only reason I'm back because, you had to take me back. You had no choice. It's an ugly situation when that happens. Why was the deal allowed to go through before the players could pass the physical?
Exactly. How did you not notice?
Yeah.
How do you not notice before this type of situation happens? I mean, there's no way, because like you said, Dalton Connect coming back, it's just going to be awkward. It's going to be very awkward in the locker room. There's nothing he can do. I mean, they can only, it's a business. You know what it is, but he knows he got sent with the first round draft pick, and they swapped picks. So they know they really wanted this guy. But the thing was, it wasn't even, he had back issues, but it wasn't his back. That was the issue. He had multiple other issues that just failed the physical. So that just made it a lot worse than what it really is. So now the Dalton Connect issue is not the problem. The problem is they don't have a big man to really to go with what they were presumably wanting to do was have a lob and a pick and roll guy and a lob guy. So now you don't really have that with a defender. I mean, a guy that had a wingspan of 7'9" or something like that. And it's unfortunate for the Lakers. So we'll see how that goes.
And Charles Barkley put down other teams for not drafting Dalton Connect sooner. Early in the year, Charles Barkley did that. But if you're him and you're going back to the Lakers, how do you face Luka? Because the reason they traded you was to accommodate Luka. And also, should Charlotte be penalized a draft pick or something because they didn't inform the Lakers of the seriousness of the injuries? Charlotte had to know about it.
Yeah, they had to. The Hornets definitely knew about it. You had that guy on your roster, And it's like you know your merchandise, you know your players, you know what somebody's value is. They need to be penalized for that because it's like they try to give them less for more, and it's kind of like conniving, like dishonest, like that invalidates your contract.
Well, I heard some scuttlebutt with the Lakers that LeBron wasn't happy with Kevich because of Bronny, because Bronny was kind of showing him up. That's what I heard. That's what I read. Don't know if it's true or not, but that was some of the stuff I read, that he was a little upset.
I heard that.
Because
How would
Kevich was
Bronny,
hitting the ball.
wait. How would Bronny be trying to show him up? I'm a little confused here. What way?
By
No,
not passing
Kevich-
the ball to him.
Kevich showing up. Bronny.
So, but Bronny wasn't playing much. I'm a little confused here still.
At the end of the
I'm
game.
saying
Bronny's
Kevich
between the
Kevich was the
G-League
one that was
and
showing him up.
Lakers.
Oh, not passing to Bronny, you mean?
No, it was Dalton Connect, the
Right.
rookie, the first round draft pick. I don't think there's credence to this story, but the story is that Dalton Connect, when he got the option of the ball, it's more towards the end of the game when Bronny gets in the game. And so when he has the option to pass to Bronny, he's wide open. He just overlooks him and passes somewhere else or does something else. He just omits him like, no, I'm not giving you the ball. I didn't see that. I don't know how true that is or not. I think it's, like you said, it's a scuttlebutt.
Yeah, I would think JJ Redick would have rectified that situation. Just said if Bronny's open, get him the ball, and I don't know.
And I think the Connect situation is more so his introduction to what a business is. This is the NBA, and this is what happens at times. And you got sent back.
Listen,
Hey, you
that
got to
kid's
deal
gonna
with it,
be
man.
good.
It is a business.
That's going to be he's going to be a real good player. I'm telling you straight up, that kid Connect is going to be a real good player in the NBA. Give him a few years. So anyway, folks, that's the top of the show. We're out of here. We'll see you. Me and Jack will see you Monday. Me and James will see you tonight. Sonia may pop in for the NFL Super Bowl watch-along, which is I've never done this. That's only before part of the game, guys. We're not going to spend the whole game, but while we're there, check us out. Send your comments and opinions. Tell us what you're having to eat, and we'll try not to eat on camera. Can't promise anything. Everybody have a great day. We'll see you real soon. And whether Chiefs is your team or the Eagles, I hope your team wins.